They never did look much like each other, Esther and Rahel, and even when they were thin-armed children, flat-chested, warm-ridden, and always prettily puffed, there was none of the usual who is who and which is which, from over-seeming relatives or the Syrian Orthodox bishops who frequently visited the IMM house over the nations. The confusion lay in a deeper, more secret place, in those early amorphous years when memory had only just begun, when life was full of beginnings and no ends, and everything was forever, as Safed and Rael thought of themselves together as me and separately, individually as we or us, as though they were a rare breed of Siamese twins, physically separate but with joint identities. Now, these years later, Rahel has a memory of waking up one night giggling had a funny dream. She has other memories too that she has no right to have. She remembered, for instance, for she hadn't been there, what the orange drink, lemon drink man did to Hesta and Habilash Talkies. She remembers the taste of tomato sandwiches, Hesta sandwiches that Esther ate on the Madras mail to Madras. And these are only the small things. Anyway, now she thinks of Esther and Rahel as them, because separately, the two of them are no longer what they were or ever thought they had been. However, their lives have a size and a shape now. Esther has ears and Rahel ears. Hedges, borders, boundaries, springs, and limits have appeared like a team of trolls under separate horizons, short creatures with long shadows patrolling the blurry hand. Gentle half-moons have gathered under their eyes, and they are as old as Amu was when she died. 31, not old, not young, but a viable, the highball age. They were nearly born on a bus, Esther and Rahel, the car in which Baba the father was taking Amu, the mother, to hospital in Ceylon to have them, broke down on the winding tea estate road in Assam. They abandoned the car and flagged down a crude state transport bus, with the queer compassion of the very poor for the comparatively well-off, of perhaps only because they saw how hugely pregnant Amu was. Seated passengers made room for the couple, and for the rest of the journey, Esther and Rahel's father had to hold their mother's stomach with them in it to prevent it from wobbling. That was before they were divorced, and Amu came back to live in Kerala. According to Hester, if they had been born on the bus, they have got free bus rides for the rest of their lives. Or of their lives. It wasn't clear when he had got this information from or how he knew these things. But for years, the twins reported a fan resentment against their parents for having diddled them out of a lifetime of free bus rides. They also believed that if they were killed on a zebra crossing, the government would pay for their funerals. They had the defining impression that was zebra crossing were meant for free funerals. Of course, there were not zebra crossing to get killed on in IMM, or for that matter, even in Kottayam, which was the nearest town, but they'd seen some from the car window when they went to Cochin, which was a 2-hour drive away. The government never paid for Sophie Moore's funerals because she wasn't killed on zebra crossing. She had hers in a Yemen in an old church with a new pen. She was Esther and Rahel's cousin, their Uncle Chaco's daughter. She was visiting from England. Esther and Rahel were 7 years old when she died. She had a special child-sized coffin, satin-lined, brass handle shined. She lay in it in a yellow cream plain bell button with her hair on a ribbon and her made in England go-go bag that she loved. Her face was pale and wrinkled as Toby stamped from being watched for too long. The congregation gathered around the coffee, and yellow church swelled like a frog. We heard the sound of sad singing. The priests with curly birds swung pots of frankincense on chains and never smiled babies the way they did on usual Sundays. The long candles on the altar were banned, the short ones weren't. An old lady masquerading as a distant relative whom nobody recognized, but often surveys next to bodies at funerals. A funeral Yankee, a Latinx coffee-liac, put coloring in a wad of cotton wool and with a tap of gentle challenging air, taped it on Sophie Small's forehead. Sophie Small smelled of colony coffin wood. Margaret Chama, Sophie Small's English mother, Walden like Chaco, Sophie Small's biological father, with his arm around her to comfort her. The family stood huddled together. Margaret Kochama, Chaco, baby Kochama, and next to her, her sister-in-law, Mamachi, Helen Rahel's and Sophie Moll's grandmother. Mamachi was almost blind and always wore dark glasses when she went out of the house. Her tears trickled down from behind them and trembled along her jaw like raindrops to the edge of a roof. She looked small and ill in her crisp of white sari. Chaco was Mamachi's only son. Her own grief grew there, as the vastest air. Though Hamoes and Rahel were allowed to attend the funeral, they were made to stand separately, not with the rest of the family. Nobody would look at them. It was hot in the church, and the white hedges of the armor lilies crisped and cold. A bee died in a coffin flower. Hamo's son shook and him book with it. Her skin was cold. Hester stood close to her, barely awake, his aging eyes glittering like glass, his burning cheek against the bare skin of Amos trembling. Himbo called in arm. Rahel, on the other hand, was wide awake. Fiercely vigilant and brittle with exhaustion from her battle against real life. She noticed that Sophie Moore was awake for her funeral. She showed Ariel to things. Thing one was newly painted on the yellow church. Ariel hadn't ever looked from the inside. It was painted blue like the sky, with drifting clouds and any whizzing jet planes, with white trails that squirts in the clouds. It's true, it must be said, that it would have been easier to notice. These things lying in a coffin looking up than standing in the pew examining by side apes and in books. Rahel thought someone who had taken the trouble to go up there with cans of paint, white for the clouds, blue for the sky, silver for the jet and brushes and thinner. She imagined him up there, someone like Sveluta, bare bodied and shining, sitting on a plank, swinging from the scaffold in the high dome of the church, painting silver jets in a blue church sky. She thought what would happen if the rope snapped. She imagined him dropping like a dark star out of the sky that he had made, lying broken on the hot church floor, dark blood spilling from his skull like secret. By then, Hesef and Rahel learned that the world had other ways of breaking men. They were already familiar with smell, 6 sweet, like old roses on a breeze.